We have had so many calls on this subject. I'm amazed at how angry people have become about the things that Starmer has accepted, particularly maybe because he said he was going to sort things out and make things better. So he has returned some of the money. Let's just have a look at the situation this morning as we see it. So we'll call it the freebie scandal. I'm guessing, maybe, I'll tell you what, let's take a couple of inverted commas and just put them in there, because some people say it's not really a scandal, they've done nothing wrong. But it seems, the problem this is, if you combine Taylor Swift and football, you've got a problem, because everyone's going to pay attention. There he is at the Swift concert with his wife. Now, today's news. He's repaid £6,000 worth of hospitality and gifts. He's kept more than £40,000 for himself, though. He's gone to give back the Taylor Swift money, £3.5 grand. Doncaster races tickets, £2 grand. £800 on clothes. He will, though, keep about £32,000 of gifts from this guy. And he is Wahid Ali, Lord Ali. And that includes, by the way, the glasses. I mean, Starmer's walking around with a free gift on his face. That's the problem. It also means David Lammy, Angela Rayner, Lucy Powell, Joe Stevens, all have got different gifts, freebies. They're Labour MPs or shadow cabinet, cabinet members, and they haven't returned their money. So the pressure's now on them. So it's, freeze. Okay, let's freeze for a sec. Maybe there's another way of looking at this. Let's pause. Could there be another side? Could there be another side to this? I'll show you. From today's paper, here is the story. Completely different story. Welsh Labour. What have they done? They've gone on a visit to USA, and it's part of a massive amount spent, 1.5 million taxpayer money. Restaurants in Manhattan, like this one here, which is called Zuzu's, which serves lobster kebabs, if you can believe it. Then Soho House, West Hollywood, marketed as a place for creative thinkers to eat and relax. Somehow they even spent a load of money, like £3 grand, on GoPro equipment. And the argument here, then they, by the way, limousines, £625. Here we've got £2,000 French catering, etc. And the problem is this. If you don't accept the freebies, you charge it to the taxpayer. If you charge it to the taxpayer, we get this, the 2009 expenses scandal, where we had an MP, believe it or not, charging the taxpayer to clean his moat. So there we are, Yasmin, right? No, that's why freebies work, because they save us the money.
This is such a false comparison. They shouldn't be doing either. They shouldn't be doing either. And I tell you something, I was so angry when I first heard about the Starmer and his wife's accepting all these gifts. I tweeted and I said, the implication was, oh, he's not as bad as Boris Johnson. Is that our new standard? That, as long as you're not as bad as Boris Johnson, who took so much from so many, we're okay? The Labour Party, we voted for them because we were sick of the way the Tory for 14 years had carried on. We wanted a clean government. And we've now seen what's happened.
So I'm saying the argument is that if you don't have freebies, you charge this stuff to the taxpayer. No,
why would you go to abroad and charge the public purse for this ridiculous luxury?
It's a business trip. That's why.
No, then you pay. You live within the means, and remember, it's not your money.
Okay, Geoff,
it's not your money.
I mean, look, just to first up on on Starmer, the Starmer story is if you ride in on a very high horse, there's quite a long way to fall. That's his problem. I don't think anyone is realistically saying that what he's accepted is on the level of certain things that have happened with the Tory party, but it's certainly on the same spectrum. I think the whole political management of it has been absurd. This is the guy. We're going to be forensic. We're going to be the grown-ups in a politics that treads more lightly in your lives. And then all of a sudden, within weeks, this scandal breaks. First up, they didn't take it seriously enough. Now, just at the point we're all going, not unreasonably, thinking there might be a third world war, he basically brings the story back into the news by giving back a little bit of the money. You should either stand by your first principle, which was to look, I didn't do anything wrong, and that is how politics works. To give back a little bit is as bad as saying you've done something wrong.
Yes, I mean, I agree with you. I think once you give back £6 grand, then the question's about...
No, he should never have taken it. And also,
that's true,
this is a man who wants to deny poor families benefits for the third child. He's taken away, as many of our listeners have often said, pensioners' money. And he thinks that within his means, he earns enough to pay for his spectacles and pay for his clothes and not take freebies. He promised
you think it's okay to
public service.
Listen, I think already, a controversial view that people won't like is MPs and certainly the Prime Minister are not paid enough. So you're right. If you take away freebies, this comes from another place.
I don't take freebies.
It's about exercising.
I earn half of what he's earning.
You weren't offered tickets to Taylor Swift.
What?
You weren't offered tickets to Taylor Swift.
No, but would
you have accepted them?
No. I'm offered holidays. I'm offered holidays all the time.
Are you?
I'm not. I've never taken.
Put them my way.
Yes.
I mean, look, do you know the problem? Interestingly, I think one point we should say is when you talk about COVID contracts, and I'm sure a lot of people watching will bring that up, is that's on a scale of money that a lot of us simply, I don't understand what it would be like to win a contract like that. I do understand what a freebie feels like, and it does bring in, I guess, that feeling of resentment, thinking, I would love a free ticket to Taylor Swift or to Arsenal. So it's actually...
so you're not totally against freebies?
No, but I think it's either they carry on accepting them and they stand by and they show judgment. I don't think in what he accepted, he showed good judgment.
OK. Una in London. Hello, Una.
Oh, good morning, Jeremy.
What do you think of this? We're just sort of thinking, has he done the right thing to hand the money back?
We should never have taken a penny. And going forward, they shouldn't be allowed to accept anything. They get paid very well. And for the first time ever, I agree with Yasmin. I don't often agree with Yasmin, but today she's absolutely on the money. They get paid a good salary, and
they don't. They don't. Not for being Prime Minister.
Yes, they do.
Sorry,
yes, they do.
The last thing I want to do. Look,
Geoff.
I'm not particularly disposed to stick up for Labour Party or Keir Starmer, but 140 grand a year to run the country. Politics is a parlous job.
No, you missed out. Listen, it's 140 grand a year. You've got a free car travel. You've got security for the rest of your life. If you're Liz Truss, you've got 160 grand a year for the rest of your life.
Free accommodation.
You've got two free houses. You're going to never have to cook a meal again. It's worth about £1 million quid, that package.
But if you compare that to FTSE top 100 companies, CEOs, I'm sorry, we don't pay them enough. If you look at
what would you pay, $500,000 or something?
I'd pay for the Prime Minister, maybe $250,000. I'd pay MPs more. Because the point is, we're not getting the best people as it is. If you take away all this stuff, you're going to get even worse calibre politicians.
No, not that long ago, just a few decades ago, people went into this business to do something for the country. They didn't go for the clothes.
Well,
they didn't go.
But Yasmin, that was when expenses were on this line.
Look at Attlee. He didn't go and say, I can't live on this money. You go in and there's enough to live on. Let me tell you, he has enough to live on.
But in comparison to other high-pressure jobs, really?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, whether
otherwise, go work in the city.
I don't know whether you want people going into it for the money or whether you want to say the only people who should go into it must already have money, e.g. Michael Heseltine, Rishi Sunak, who've self-made men.
Look, most of the people who go into Parliament have no money, but they do their jobs and they do them very well. OK,
thanks, Una. Chris in Derbyshire. Hi, Chris.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
OK, do you think all MPs should pay back their freebies?
Absolutely. And I think it should go into a fund where some pensioners can be helped with their heating allowance.
Good.
We've now got MPs complaining their offices are too cold. They want to have extra radiators. And another thing I want to know is, what is a vanity photographer? Because Angela Rayner has paid £68,000 for this.
I saw that story, yeah. I don't know whether she would describe him as that. But I'm not entirely sure.
But that raises the point, isn't it? It's about judgment. You know, Taylor Swift tickets and an expensive photographer are hard to justify. You can take certain gifts because you need to speak to business and people, but you can't justify things like that. You need
Thanks,
to be
Chris.
accountable.
Elaine is in beautiful Edinburgh. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
How are you doing?
There, Jimmy. Good. I just wanted to say that, in my opinion, the public purse is not a lottery win for anybody who happens to come into power.
No,
there's
point.
Absolutely no need for them to have two houses. You can fly from Edinburgh to London in an hour. You can fly back up. I'm sure you can do the same from Wales. Why do they need a second home with a heating allowance, with security? I'd love to have went. I know a lot of people who would have loved to have went to see Taylor Swift.
I'm sorry, I've got to speak up for...
Go on, Geoff wants to object.
I have to speak up for MPs on one respect to what you said, security. I think if we looked at what happened at the last election, at the harassment of certain female MPs, I think that's one thing you can absolutely understand. And in terms of second homes, a lot of them are in constituencies that are really far away and they have to work in London a lot. You could make an argument that if you're somewhere, home counties, maybe there already is a rule, maybe there should be a threshold for how far away. But there's a reason for those things. It's the frivolous stuff that the public are struggling to swallow.
But Elaine, if somebody says, I'm trying to think of an example, let's say a production of Hamlet is on in Manchester and the producers say to the Manchester MP, would you like to come? We've got 2 tickets for you. Why shouldn't she say yes to that? What's the problem?
Are they private tickets? Have they been paid?
She's going to be given them. She's got the MPs,
and they've been given them, but not. There's no way she should have been given them unless it was on a personal gift to her.
Well, it is very much a personal gift. Well,
in my eyes, they're treating it like they've won the lottery. They're travelling in new clothes. Probably things that if I won the lottery, I would do as well. I would do all the great things that I wanted.
Lots of people saying this, You're on the money with it.
There are families,
literally.
I'm almost tearful, both with anger and sorrow, who can't buy clothes for their children. And here is our Prime Minister, thinking that he's entitled to a wardrobe. What world are they living in? What world are you living in, Geoff?
Well, no, just the real world where ultimately people will be caught in...
Well, if you're right,
for an example, the Manchester one is a good example. Say, for example, there's a new theatre, there's a production, as you say, of Hamlet. You're the Manchester MP, it would be good to be seen there, it would be good for the arts there. Can you afford to individually attend every single one of those events out of your own pocket? No. Should you be going to a Taylor Swift concert, which is clearly for your own benefit? Also, no. It's a nuanced issue.
OK. Thanks, Elaine. Everyone calling in on this. Later, it's the papers and everything else. Find out.